together, but he's hitting it. He didn't shoot it. He didn't shoot it up. I didn't see him shoot it up. But then he starts walking that direction again. Now, there's another truck coming the same direction. He shuts up the truck at least once or twice. Once he does that, the truck just keeps going, then he keeps going. He's walking this way. He's walking, but he's walking like he don't give a He's walking comfortably.
Right. We're live on the air, so if you can swear
What's going through your mind when you're seeing this happen? You're hearing those
This
shots.
is like, I thought this was like a video game. I thought it was like, you know how in GTA you're bored of playing it so much, you just start shooting anything. Like you just start shooting, you start getting cars, you start, doing whatever. He felt free. Like he didn't go. Sorry, he didn't care.
And can you just describe? You just looked at your phone. What kind of weapon did he have? We had heard it was a rifle or something like that.
It looked like it was. I think it was a rifle. It looked like at least. It was like it was big. It was big. It was long.
I mean, the way you talk about it, he was just out walking around. Had he been in a car? Or?
When I got to it, there was already 5 shots already gone by. When I stepped on my porch, my balcony. Sorry, when I stepped on the balcony, he's already trying to reload it or like fix it while he's walking this way, like while he's walking down the street.
So you don't know where he had come from or what he was doing?
No. People are saying that he stepped out of the car and then he stopped traffic at a certain point where it looked like he could have,
And do you know what happened to him? What happened to him?
Well, when he got to that, there's a street over there to take a left to keep going. Right next to that tree, he got into a gunfight between the cop. I was on the phone with the 911. Once he got in that gunfight, that's when he got dropped. I think he got hit in the leg first or something around here because he dropped like this. Then he lays down, he threw the gun, and now he got his hands up.
And were you like ducking for cover, or what were you doing?
I was on the 18th floor. I was good, man. I was good.
There.
Yeah, I was good. I was chilling.
Watching it all.
I was watching it all. I was chilling, man.
Did you see him get taken away?
I seen him. They once they drop him, he had his hands up. There was at least 2-3 cops running towards him, rushing.
Pretty interesting images that we're getting right from the crime scene itself, looking down Memorial Drive from River Street in these pictures. And you can see from this video, you can see crime scene services now are marking the areas where those shell casings, at least at this first crime scene, were left in the middle of the street there. And what's been happening is multiple agencies from the state police, from Cambridge Police, from Boston Police, and CPAC detectives assigned to the Middlesex County District Attorney's Office have now arrived here on the scene to begin processing this crime scene, which for the past 2 hours has literally been frozen, meaning no one was getting into it or out of it, but they've been able to move some of the vehicles out of the way. And now what you're looking at in these live pictures are state police, state troopers actually marking where those shell casings were left behind. We know that the Colonel, Jeff Noble from the state police, responded to the scene pretty quickly. We know that the district attorney from Middlesex County, Marion Ryan, and her first assistant here, Adrian Lynch, we saw her on the scene earlier. And again, at this hour, we believe that what they're doing right now, because they're not looking for any other suspects in connection with this shooting, what we believe right now is they're in the process of going through collecting evidence here at the scene, not just the physical evidence, but they're also busy trying to track down surveillance video and all those images that people took witnesses from their cell phones, getting all that collected so they can piece together and then begin to look at what brought this gunman here to the banks of the Charles River in the middle of the afternoon to begin opening fire at random, at will, just shooting at people, with people ducking for cover. You saw some of those cars ending up off of the road, bullets everywhere. And then at some point, it appears from our witnesses and what we're seeing here at the scene that there was some sort of engagement, a shooting between police and the suspect, who was apparently shot in the lower extremities, taken to the hospital. And we don't believe any police officers were injured, but we do know that according to protocol, any officers that were involved in the shooting would be transported to the hospital to be evaluated for stress. The investigation right now is ongoing and active. They're trying to keep people away from the area, but what they're basically saying at this point is the threat to the public is over now. We're live in Cambridge this afternoon. Steve Cooper, 7 News.
And I just want to reiterate
That for the public right now who are watching this, because it's a huge crime scene. It's really scary for a lot of people who use this part of our city on both sides of the river here in Coop. There is no public danger at this point. There's a huge traffic backup during this breaking news today. We just want to reiterate that the public is safe at this point, and that's what you're hearing from authorities, correct?
Correct, and they also are encouraging people that saw this, people that were driving by, perhaps dash cam videos, people that were up in those balconies on those apartment buildings off of Memorial Drive right by River Street. A lot of those people are still processing what they saw and what they heard, and in that process, because these are fresh eyewitnesses, and there are a lot of people that witnessed this. Police are urging the public, for any witnesses who saw anything this afternoon, to come forward and share those videos. They say that is critical to their ongoing investigation right now.
Steve Cooper, they're live at the scene. Thank you so much. And Sky 7 showing the rifle at the scene this afternoon, right along Memorial Drive. 7's Jonathan Hall is live in Boston with what we know right now about the gun.
And Ryan, just a stunning scene here in Cambridge and where we are in Alston as people come by to view exactly what's going on across the river. A gunman opening fire apparently on random cars, according to witnesses, firing at least 30 shots before we believe he was taken out by state troopers, at least wounded, according to one witness. As you say, Sky 7 was up over the scene here, and we did capture a rifle on the ground. It was about 1:20 in the afternoon that this incident happened. State police have confirmed a trooper or troopers got involved to stop the threat. Captured a rifle apparently used by the suspect in this case. It's been on the ground. We saw an officer with a long white box heading toward it as crime scene services is out here. They're looking through all the shell casings. They're photographing the gun. No idea what kind of a rifle it is just yet. It'll be retrieved as evidence along with all of the other evidence, and they'll be talking to witnesses out here. We understand a mail truck is being examined as well. Now, Sky 7 also showing a wide shot of this area. Driver beware. There is no active threat. However, there is a threat of some very, very bad traffic. Memorial Drive has been closed between the area of MIT and River Street, and I just looked at Waze. It's got a closure all the way up to Western Avenue as well. And on the Alston side, traffic has been snarled on Storrow Drive. We can take a look live here, and you'll see that actually it's not quite as bad as it's been on Storrow Drive, because I think people are heeding the warnings and perhaps staying away from this area. So police will be continuing their investigation. They'll get all the latest information, and we expect more information coming up from the district attorney or a representative of Marion Ryan's at some point to get the very latest information here. Reporting live in Alston, I'm Jonathan Hall, 7 News.
And Jonathan, you have a great perspective there at the Boston side with the ramps being closed. You also witnessed, I believe, some boats in the Charles River. Talk a little bit about what you were seeing there with some of the investigators, what they were doing.
Yeah, it was quite a scene. I mean, you were having state police coming through on a state police boat. And then we also had people out doing their crew practice. Some young men out there doing crew, rowing on the Charles River. We'll just kind of head this way, Mark, and maybe take a look back over across the river. Pardon the long haul here as we take a move from Storrow Drive across the street to Memorial Drive. As Steve Cooper mentioned, there were a bunch of vehicles that the police went through, perhaps vehicles that were shot up by this incident. They have been moved. So quite a few of the vehicles that were parked on Memorial Drive since about 1:20 this afternoon and there for a good 2.5 hours have just been moved out now. We have several distinctive crime scenes. To the left there, you can see the Dunkin' Donuts, and you can see where there are a bunch of officers, yellow crime scene tape over there with people going through and trying to find out exactly what's going on with a crime scene that has been sealed. No one in, no one out, as the detectives do all of their work. We'll pan up the street a ways. There's a Harvard building there in the middle. The white building is a Harvard Technology building. And then you go all the way down toward the courtyard by Marriott, and you can see more blue flashing lights. There were quite a bit more a couple of hours ago, but still police on the scene going through all the latest that they have to get multiple crime scenes squared away, cross the T's, dot the I's out here in Cambridge. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, you're right, Jonathan. And on that note, Memorial Drive, very busy area for both pedestrians and drivers and people on the river, too. We have 7's Victoria Price, she's live for us right here in the newsroom with more on what some of those witnesses are saying this afternoon. Victoria?
And Jadian, of course, busy area means a lot of people to witness, and several witnesses say they heard the gunshots from the shooting from their homes. And this just in, there's new cell phone video from a witness. It was taken from an upper floor of a building in that area. Here's that brand new cell phone video just in. In it, you can see police moving in as a man there lays on the ground. Again, this is new cell phone video just in from a witness during the shooting earlier today. Sky 7 also flew over that scene in Cambridge this afternoon. In this video, on the ground there, you can see what we believe could be the gun that was used by the suspect in this shooting. We've seen troopers investigating that firearm. It appears to be, as Jonathan Hall noted, some type of rifle. And of course, there's a large police presence in that area. A large stretch of Memorial Drive remains closed off to any traffic right now. People who were nearby telling us what they saw and heard was shocking.
I saw people running across the bridge. I saw the police finally came, but they stopped somebody over here in the car, and I overheard someone saying that someone was firing guns from that car that the police ran into. It's right over here. It's crazy, you know. Anytime anyone, even here, when something like this happens, it's pretty incredible.
One person was trying to get away from the other person and crashed into the tree. Person shooting started shooting up at cars, shooting in the air. All the bullets was flying. Bah, 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 bah. I was hitting everything, you know what I'm saying? And a couple people got hit up.
And of course, we have several crews out there on scene. We'll have much more from witnesses all throughout the afternoon right here on the news station. For now, live in the newsroom, Victoria Price, 7 News.
At least one mail truck in the area has that bullet hole in the windshield right there. 7's Alex DePrado is live at that scene with more.
Ryan, we're at Blackstone and River Streets here in Cambridge. I'll step out of the way and you'll be able to see the mail truck that's in question. And as we zoom into the windshield, you'll be able to see the bullet hole that struck just above where the driver would be sitting. We're again at Blackstone and River Streets, which is a little bit west of the main location where police have been staged. It's likely the driver here drove a few blocks away after realizing a bullet came through the window to get to safety and ended up here at Blackstone and River Streets. As we pan over, you'll be able to see River Street there. There's a Whole Foods there, a pharmacy next door. That's to give you an indication of where we are. We spoke with a woman who actually lives nearby in an apartment complex near here. She says she heard what she believes is some jackhammering and then possibly a gunshot. Take a listen.
It sounded like a jackhammer. And I sort of thought, well, there's a lot of construction, and it was like right there. And then it ended with this huge, that sounded like a gunshot. It reminds me of the Boston bombing. Same thing. I mean, we would sit upstairs and they came into that gas station and they ran across the street to the other one.
And that was a woman who lives nearby who says she may have heard the gunshot that went through this postal truck, but it's also possible that this truck was hit further down the street and the driver drove here. The driver is on scene talking to supervisors. I did speak with her supervisor very quickly. She said that everybody is okay here. That's the good news. The driver here does appear to be okay. You can see state police are here on the scene along with Cambridge police. They're guarding this vehicle. They're waiting for crime scene and other detectives to come here and process this vehicle. That's the next step in all of this. As we have more information this afternoon, of course, we'll pass it along to you. For now, we're live in Cambridge. I'm Alex DePrado, 7 News.
Alex, great information. Let's go back to the point that you did learn from being there that the driver appears to be okay.
Yeah, the driver is okay. I have seen her walking around this area. She's back behind the other side of the building, out of the view of cameras at this hour. But there is, again, the vehicle that she was driving in this afternoon when that bullet came in just over her head. That had to be quite the frightening experience. Likely it occurred a few blocks away from here. She drove here to River and Blackstone Streets, pulled over, called somebody likely, and police from both the state police and also Cambridge police have responded here. We're now waiting for investigators and crime scene detectives to come here and process this. But that driver, again, does appear to be okay. I have seen her walking around here at this scene. Ryan?
Yeah, and Alex, jotting on here too, I just wanted to say I breathed a sigh of relief when I heard you say that. It's so scary to see that bullet hole in the driver's side windshield. Did you get eyes on her? Did you actually see her? Did she look, I know I'm sure in shock, but relatively okay?
Yeah, she's walking around. She's obviously a little bit camera shy after this incident, which you can understand that as somebody who's gone through a traumatic experience like this. She's walking around, didn't appear to be injured. I did see her. Her supervisor is here with her now. They're obviously waiting for other supervisors to come here. But that's the vehicle that she was in this afternoon. And no doubt it was a delivery route unlike any other today as that bullet came through. The good news is she is okay, at least physically.
All right, that's a great update for us, Alex. Thank you for that.
We are starting to get some reaction from lawmakers and Governor Maura Healey saying right now, I am closely monitoring the situation on Memorial Drive. There is no ongoing threat to the public. However, residents and commuters are strongly encouraged to avoid the area to allow public safety personnel to do their work. A really good point right there.
Yep, exactly. And for all of you who are commuters, Memorial Drive, just so you know, is going to be closed down for the afternoon. And that is snarling traffic. There's a residual effect. Not only is Memorial Drive closed, but the bridges crossing over near River Street. And I think Jonathan Hall had said even another bridge up was being closed down for traffic to get across. So it's really tough. It's a busy time anyway, especially when you have a major artery like this closed down. So let's get to Dan Mazzella, who's joining us now with a little more of an update on just the traffic impact and for all of our commuters out there.
Hey, Jadian. Yeah, we are looking at a very slow situation in the whole area. So it's happened around 1:30, and since then we've kind of just seen everything closed down. Now this is looking right at the scene as you try to get on Memorial Drive. So we have this bird's eye view. You can see through the trees. There are all those lights from the cops and other emergency vehicles. So this is where the focal point is. This is where we pretty much have everything shut down. But kind of just to dive in, look how much red is out there. This is more red than we normally see because we have everyone kind of doing a detour. So yes, Memorial Drive, as we've been saying, has been closed down. Your detour is Western Ave and Magazine Streets, and that's through Cambridge. I gotta stress though, they are a mess. They are all backed up. So getting through this area is already tough at this time of the day. Just elevate that to 10 and things are just going to be very, very slow. So really avoid this if you can. We are getting word that a lot of other people are avoiding it. You can see that the Pike, not terrible, but as you get closer to the city, things are all jammed up. I do want to point out this view right here. This is the Mass Ave bridge. So this goes across the Charles from Cambridge. And this is not bad. This is a good access point to take. So if you can get to the Mass Ave bridge, this will get you around it just a little bit easier. Dan Mazzella, 7 News.
Okay, we have new video we want to show you right here of the actual shooting that happened here. A witness with the cell phone here captured the moment this suspect opened fire. You can see the suspect walking here wearing black right there.
Oh.
You can see shots being fired right there from that rifle. He's running across the street. Once again, new video just here to the 7 Newsroom.
Brand new video. We're seeing this with you for the first time, and it is really jarring to see. You can see this person with a long gun, walks right into the middle of the road, shoots a few times, takes off running again. And that kind of lines up with what we were hearing from the witness account from earlier. He said he heard about 5 shots, and then he heard a pause, and that witness account said he thought that maybe the gun had jammed or something, and that he was that this person was messing with the gun to sort of get it to work again. And then we get witness accounts of hearing several more shots again. And it's really scary to see that happen and unfold. And now we're getting our first view out of it ourselves, along with you, of what exactly started this massive crime scene now unfolded there in Cambridge.
Just to underscore how terrifying this is the middle of the day in Cambridge, and you have a man out here with a rifle opening fire on a busy street. And we're seeing this through this video right here.
Right, and then the other vehicles involved that we have been showing you in our team coverage today. Been on the air now for several hours, just bringing you every bit of information that we've gotten. And we had the postal vehicle that had a shot in the driver's side. We have another vehicle that's crashed up on the side of the road, a couple more vehicles stalled in the middle of Memorial Drive there. And you can only imagine if you were a driver out there, what it would have felt like to just have to slam on your brakes or pull over or whatever as just a result of just trying to get down Memorial Drive.
As we take a close look at this video, we're trying to analyze it, and it appears that he's shooting, and someone may be shooting back at him. I can't tell because he appears to duck right there.
It could be that.
I don't know.
The
We don't have the
interaction
whole,
with state police.
Right. We don't know, though.
Yeah, and that's what we're all trying to piece together for you. We just want to be transparent, show you what we know, tell you the information that we can confirm, and then wait for authorities to give us some more details. But Ryan, that's a really good point, because we did hear that there might have been an exchange between state troopers and this person, and that could have been that moment.
And the witness described hearing at least 30 rounds fired, and then the witness described the shootout with police, and that he believes the suspect was hit in the lower part of his body and then taken away. And this is it's shocking to watch this video.
That's right. And we have Victoria Price standing by live for us now, too, to weigh in on this breaking news that we've been following now for several hours, Victoria.
Yeah, so Jody on Ryan, coming up on about 3 hours after this all unfolded in Cambridge earlier. And so we are starting to get these witness cell phone videos that are coming in. Of course, in this day and age, everybody pretty much has a camera in their pocket, and that is where we're getting some of these videos. So we've been looping this here. This is the first time that we've seen this. This is video showing what is believed to be the suspected gunman in this case crossing Memorial Drive and appearing to just fire indiscriminately down the street. Again, as both Ryan and Jodiana had mentioned multiple times, witnesses heard multiple rounds go off during this, and then the shooter appears to stop. We don't know if the gun jammed or what exactly happened there, but this is new cell phone video from a witness that we are seeing come in, showing the shooting that happened in Cambridge around 1:30 this afternoon. I believe we also have another video that shows shortly sometime after. This is from somebody who lives in a nearby apartment or condo building, a high-rise that's nearby, and you can see who we believe, again, to be that same suspected gunman on the ground on the sidewalk here just off of Memorial Drive with what appears to be several state troopers, perhaps someone in tactical gear, and they have that individual on the ground. And then I think just to the left where you see that one trooper next to the tree, that dark line on the ground, we believe that to be the weapon that we've seen some other video, including from Sky 7, document that was lying there on that little grass median. Again, this is just along Memorial Drive. This is the area that we have been focusing on all afternoon. And with this new witness cell phone video starting to come in from several individuals, we're seeing not just the shooting itself happen in real time in that video, but also then here who we believe to be the suspected gunman being tackled or detained or held down by law enforcement just off to the side of the street here. So again, we have several crews out there on the scene. They've been talking to witnesses. They're starting to acquire this witness cell phone video. As more comes in, of course, we will look it over and make sure that everything that we're airing is acceptable, but continue to bring you these eyewitness accounts, both sound bites as well as cell phone video. But for now, Ryan and Jodiana, I'll send it back to you.
We're just getting told from our producers that we have new video now, and I do want to couch this by saying that we are going to hear a lot of the gunshots and that we also are going to see the suspect get shot. And so this may be disturbing for some to see. We're just getting into the newsroom, so we are going to share it.
We're going to take a look right now, so please keep in mind this could be disturbing. Okay, what you just witnessed there was the suspect shooting at police. Police then shot that suspect. He went down to the ground, but continued to shoot back at police.
What you just witnessed right here on 7 News was a shootout with police in the middle of the day, right on Memorial Drive, right on the pathway there. You can see a boat in the river. You can see this person just walking around with a long gun and then back and forth with authorities until now we can confirm that he does have that what appears to be a lower body injury, and then finally dropping his weapon, Ryan.
And then he actually tosses it. As police, I believe, probably are moving in on him, you'll see him toss the gun right here. He leans back that way, and then boom, tosses that rifle. And that's where we've seen that rifle lay since this happened. It is the crucial part of this investigation. But once again, we're going to show this again from the top. We're going to stop talking, and we're going to let you watch this from the top.
Okay, we just need a second to get that video back up. And it did look like there at the end, Ryan, that you're right. I saw him toss and then
yep.
almost just threw his hands up in the air.
It was remarkable to see the way that he was on the ground and continued, even though he was hit.
Continued to shoot.
Continued to shoot. And let's watch this again in full.
An incredibly intense video that we just got from a viewer, and it shows that suspect walking down the pathway there, firing his weapon multiple times. You can hear at least a couple of dozen of shots. You can see that he is being fired up on and that he is injured, then throws his weapon, that long gun, and then throws his hands up in the air. That person then taken away by authorities. And we understand that 7's Jonathan Hall, who's right there on the scene for us, has now spoken with the DA. And can you give us an update on what they're saying? Jonathan?
Well, Johnny, first of all, that video, an absolutely terrifying scene out here on Memorial Drive. You can only imagine what people went through here at 1:20 this afternoon as this man starts opening fire on vehicles and state troopers start opening fire on him. Just an absolutely stunning scene. And we are about to hear more from the District Attorney, Marian Ryan. I spoke with her here on the Boston side of the river as she was about to walk over the River Street Bridge to head to the crime scene. You're getting a look at a large group of people underneath that tree right there. That is where the District Attorney is now. She's gathering the latest information from investigators from the state police. We understand the Colonel will be appearing at a news conference as well, and we'll get all the latest information as she continues to talk to her investigators from the state police, from the CPAC unit, and also from others who are on the scene. They're not going to divulge everything, but we will get a better idea from her standpoint of just what transpired here at 1:20 this afternoon and whether or not anybody was killed. Our sources are telling us that no officers were injured, thankfully, that they are fine, at least physically, and that they are being checked out as per protocol to make sure that they will be okay as they come home to their families tonight and as they prepare for a trooper's funeral coming up the day after tomorrow and a wake tomorrow. So it's been a busy, busy time here in Boston, no doubt. Guys, back to you.
And Jonathan, that's great information there. We understand we are going to get an update here from the authorities, from the investigators. We'll stand by for that. I want to go to our Steve Cooper. He's on the Cambridge side, right by the crime scene. Coop, we watched that video play out. Quite a scene there.
Yeah, and it played out in real time, witnessed by so many people here on a busy Memorial Drive on a Monday afternoon, what was otherwise a quiet Monday afternoon. And we are being told by sources that this is an officer-involved shooting. So that brings the Middlesex County District Attorney here to the scene to investigate and ultimately determine whether or not this was a justified officer-involved shooting. But as we are hearing from sources, it appears No officers were physically injured, were transported to the hospital to be evaluated for stress, as were a number of other people. And of course, our sources have been telling us that the shooter and another person that was shot were transported to area hospitals not long after all of this unfolded. And here at the intersection of River Street and Memorial Drive, you can see what's happening right now. You can see the number of police cruisers here, state police cruisers. And just to be clear, this is a DCR roadway, which basically means that the jurisdiction is the Massachusetts State Police handle the river roads, Memorial Drive and Storrow Drive. And Cambridge police responded on the 911 calls that were coming in, we're told, for shots fired. But it was state police that were engaging with this shooter here along Memorial Drive. And that's why you have the district attorney here from Middlesex County and her first assistant, Adrian Lynch, who will now lead this investigation. And what's going on here at the scene right now is ballistics experts, crime scene services with the state police are now going methodically through these crime scenes here. And our witness is talking about the number of shots, as many as 30 shots fired. With the exchange of gunfire as well. So all of that needs to be processed and memorialized. And at the same time, CPAC detectives from the district attorney's office are now literally going door to door from not just the businesses here, but these high-rise apartment buildings here, literally going floor to floor, we're told, knocking on all of the doors to talk to people that may have witnessed all this in real time and to try to process this as well. So right now, this has gone from an active shooter call to a crime scene that is now sealed off to the public, and it will be processed methodically over the next couple of hours before this roadway is reopened. The investigation is ongoing. At the moment, we're being told that the shooter is alive. That could change as the hours go on, but just to be clear, at the moment, this would involve a prosecution of a person that opened fire here in broad daylight. So that would bring this case going to the court system, to an arraignment, to trial. So that's one of the reasons that right now they're going through everything methodically to make sure all the evidence, digital and otherwise, is all collected carefully so they can take this case to trial. We're live in Cambridge at the shooting scene. Steve Cooper, 7 News.
All right, Coop, thank you for that. And 7's Kimberly Bookman is standing by live for us right down the street, right where we just watched that video of the shooting. Kimberly, what can you tell us?
Jodianne, we are on the other side of where Steve Cooper is on Memorial Drive at the Pleasant Street extension. I'm going to move out of the way and you can see exactly what we are seeing here, which is a bunch of investigators that are looking around an orange bag. Right by there is a rifle that is on the ground. That is the rifle that is believed to have been the one that the suspect was shooting with. You can see this is a very active crime scene from this side of Memorial Drive. If we pan over just a little bit to the right, you'll see some evidence markers on the ground where troopers are. And then to the right of that, a couple of cars that we believe to have been hit by bullets and gunfire during this shootout. If you continue going on, you'll see that there is more crime tape and investigators trying to talk to witnesses out here. So very active out here as they're trying to gather all of the evidence that was left behind to try and piece all of this back together. Jodianne.
And Kimberly, can you just help us understand those cars behind you? Because it looks like they're all involved in the crime scene right now. And I see 2 sedans, and then it looks like I see one of those school vans. Does it look like those are all part of maybe being involved in this?
Yeah, I'll move out of the way again so you can take a look at what you were talking about. Those 2 cars, one of them with the roof open, as you're saying. We do understand that 2 of them, at least, were hit by gunfire and that the people who were inside those may have been taken to the hospital or gotten treatment, but they certainly were involved in some way here. They are in the crime tape right now. You can see investigators are going through them. And we do believe that, yes, they were hit by gunfire. Jodianne.
Thank you, Kimberly.
And Kimberly, as you really stand at this scene, you think about how massive this crime scene is. We've seen from the choppers, the news choppers there, this how big it is. Describe being there on the scene there and the layout of it and how really big and complex this crime scene is.
It certainly is several blocks here, Ryan. We were trying to navigate our way from where Steve Cooper was there at the cross street of, I think it was Memorial Drive, right at the mobile station there. Several streets down and around to get here. You can't you can't drive through. The investigators are up and down the entire street trying to collect evidence along here. So it certainly looks like that suspect traveled quite a distance here. There were several victims along this road, as you can see by looking at just those cars, and witnesses as well. So they're working this scene with those evidence markers, trying to go through. I can even have Brittany pan a little bit over here to the right. You can see they're checking out the different cars here, just to see if any of them were hit by gunfire or what kind of evidence they can lift off of that at this time. So it's a very active scene as they're trying to piece together exactly who was involved and who may have been hurt and who may have witnessed any of this that might be able to give them some good information as to exactly what happened.
Exactly. Our cameras are focused right on the active investigation going on right now. They're looking at each one of these cars. And Kimberly, your camera was doing a great job showing us also the DA, Marion Ryan's close by to you. She was there, I believe, talking to investigators, getting the information so she could come and brief the media. We are waiting for that information, and that's going to be crucial to find out what the latest is on this investigation.
Right. They're setting up some microphones now. So, you know, we think it might be happening very soon, but they have a lot of work to do out there. So that's exactly what I was talking about. Thank you for that shot. And so as soon as they walk out there, we will just go to that immediately. In the meantime, the DA is right there on the scene, right where the shootout happened with police that we showed you in the video a short time ago. And she's getting information from all of the investigators and officials and higher-ups that are all involved in this now about what she can tell us at this time. That was a really good shot there, just because you could see the cars we were talking about with Kimberly that were involved in behind the crime tape. And then you can see kind of that shot helped us understand just how close that was to where the shootout happened here. And then that's just across the street from the mobile gas station. So just kind of help orient everyone. And then where Alex Saprata was, he was just about a block to, you know, the left of your screen, exactly, if you will, where the postal truck, we believe, was hit. And then maybe was able, the driver who he said he saw and was on scene and okay, and talking with people, was able to maybe take a turn and then get the vehicle over, to safety, over to the side.
There are so many questions when you start to think about this. When the witness described the initial shooting that happened, and then there were 5 shots fired, and then there was a shootout with state police. There's so many questions about motive here, obviously, and then what transpired. Where did the suspect come from? Was he in a car? Was he on foot? Was he in one of these vehicles? There's just so many questions. We probably won't get all the answers in this press conference, but hopefully we get some indication of what's going on here.
Right, and like you said, Ryan, motive is always something that people really want to know. They want to know why, right? And we do too, but we often don't get to a motive until there's been a bit more of an extensive investigation. But we do know that officials will give us what they can, and we also want to know the condition of this one person hurt.
Right.
You know, it is protocol for authorities to notify loved ones about someone who is hurt so that they don't hear it when they turn the TV on, and we respect those boundaries, and that's what we're doing. So, you know, I think we first and foremost want to know who's hurt and how badly, and then it's important to note here also that from authorities on the scene, although you are looking at a huge crime scene and something really scary, that the public is safe at this point. We saw the shooter go down, and now in the hands of authorities.
It is a wrapped up situation in that aspect of it. Investigation is just getting started, and it strikes me as we've been on here since about 2 o'clock with live continuous coverage showing all the crime scene tape and different complex scenes within the scenes. Just so many evidence markers all over the place really underscores, and we heard the gunshots, how many shots were fired, and how every one of those is a crucial part of this investigation. Every car that was involved is a part of this investigation, and all the surveillance video and cell phones they want to collect, and obviously talk to the witnesses.
Right, and so far we've gotten really incredible cell phone video from people who were just there. And, you know, these days everyone has a camera on their phone and usually will, you know, grab video as quickly as they can. It's just the world we live in now, and so that will be key for investigators to continue to put together their full case and start to figure out what happened here. There's a piece of evidence, and they mark them. We call them evidence markers. You probably all know that. That's 10. I can't make out exactly what it is. Some black object there. And when we saw the video earlier of the suspect with the gun, you saw, Brian, you pointed out, he sort of tossed the gun after he was injured. And
could
then
be a clip
we
from the
saw
gun.
that gun. Yeah, that's a good point. It could be.
Can't see it's
We saw that gun there on the ground for a while.
Yep.
While, you know, because they don't just go and pick it up. They go and they take pictures and they mark where it is and how it looked and exactly what location it was in, and then they can take it away and take it into evidence collection. So that's what they've been doing. We also started to see more evidence markers. Sometimes they look like little stickers almost, and we saw a lot of those going up on all the vehicles. We can assume that's probably bullet holes, because every shot that's fired, they want to identify where that went, if they can, where that bullet ended up.
Just talking about what you brought up before, the fact that this is the middle of the day, you were thinking about going for a bike ride nearby here. I mean, this is...
I ride right there, and I don't mean to make this about myself, but I think a lot of people use this part of our city, and I stop at that intersection and hit the little traffic light and wait for, because there's a lot of traffic right there, and between Memorial Drive and River Street, there's a lot going on, and so you wait for a while to pick up your exercise again, and I sit at that little intersection and watch people do their thing, and people are on the river, and people are walking their dogs, and you can see people are dressed up, taking maybe a break from work, or they're headed to class. And I enjoy that part of Memorial Drive once I get down to the Harvard area. It's very pretty. I see rowers out on the river, and it's all very close, and there's people with dogs, and there's people with strollers, and so yeah, I mean, this is a highly used part of our city on a beautiful day. This is a massive breaking news story right now.
And the peacefulness was shattered by that sound of gunshots. You can imagine if you were in that apartment complex, you're filling up your gas at the gas station or doing anything around there on your bike, and you hear that, and you really can't believe it. And okay.
Oh wow, this is the postal truck driver,
Right.
we're being told. Thank you. Our producer just told us that we believe that's her. And Alex DePrato is down there. Is he still down there? Can the control room hear me? Can he tell us? Because he saw her. The reason I'm asking is because he saw her, so he would be able to identify. That's for sure her. Okay. So Alex, it appears that's her. And I understand she's under a lot of stress right now and probably doesn't want to talk. But did you try to ask her if she was okay or anything like that, or what are you seeing?
Yes, Jadian, so that is who we believe is the postal truck driver. She's unable to talk to us because of the policies with the USPS, but her supervisor was on the scene. I said, "How is everybody doing?" She said, "Fine," and a further supervisor was coming to assist at this scene. So that's who we believe is the driver. The bullet struck the window of the vehicle this afternoon during the shootout. The bullet struck just above her head. Obviously, she is very lucky. That driver was likely able to come and drive here to Blackstone and River Streets, and you can see detectives here from state police and other agencies are now arriving at the postal truck. They're going to begin their once-over of this vehicle to figure out exactly where the bullet went. This woman here in the coming out the driver's door is the supervisor. She told me she was the supervisor earlier. So these are all the people involved in this response here to this vehicle at Blackstone and River Street. We're just a little bit west of the main shooting area that happened this afternoon, and detectives have now arrived here. They're going to do the once-over of this vehicle, but no doubt this driver is very lucky because this bullet, it being just 6 inches further down, she could have been struck. It doesn't appear she was injured, at least physically. Mentally, obviously, she's probably very shaken up. State police are here in the uniform. The troopers are here. The Cambridge police is here. And then we also saw what we believe is detectives just arriving. They're on the other side of the vehicle now to kind of process this whole thing. The Sky 7, you will be able to see now from Sky 7, that is the driver on the other side of the vehicle. From where I am standing, no doubt, very shaken up, but okay. This bullet struck as she was driving her route this afternoon. It struck the front windshield. She was able to weave through the streets of Cambridge, come a couple blocks west, and that's where we've arrived right now. State police, along with detectives from the various departments, are here on the scene, and they're going to begin processing this vehicle to try to figure out exactly what happened. But no doubt, a very lucky day for this USPS driver.
Great point, Alex. I mean, it must have been terrifying to be driving in that postal truck and that bullet went through the windshield right where your head would be.
You can't even imagine how terrifying.
It's terrifying.
And the poise that she had
glad she's okay.
to get the vehicle off the road and not injure anyone else. Like, Wow.
I believe this is one of many vehicles that were hit by bullets, it appears. Just from what we're seeing here, by the pictures that we have here from the newsroom of the evidence markers on some of the vehicles. So we need to figure out
Those are context clues.
exactly
you know?
how many vehicles were hit by gunfire, how many people were hit by gunfire. It's just terrifying when you think about that. Go to our Steve Cooper now, if we can, if he's still standing by. And Cooper, it appears that there's a lot of vehicles that were hit by gunfire.
Yeah, there are a lot of bullets flying, Ryan. I can tell you that. That's pretty clear. A lot of bullets flying this afternoon and people ducking for cover. Pretty dramatic moments and a pretty harrowing ordeal for those not just involved in this, but for those looking on and seeing this unfold in real time. And of course, all this happening at a very difficult time for the state police. Our sources are telling us that it was state police that engaged with that gunman, shot that gunman, and then that gunman was taken to the hospital. Now, again, a difficult time for the state police, which just dealing with the loss of one of their own just a few days ago. Trooper Kevin Trainer was killed in the line of duty in a traffic crash, a wrong-way driver crash up on Route 1 in Linfield. And last week, it was just processing the sheer horror of that incident itself, and then this week planning for his wake tomorrow in Peabody, and then his funeral, which is expected to be attended to by thousands of members of the law enforcement community from all across the country converging on the North Shore to bid farewell to a fallen comrade. And then in the middle of this planning, imagine that was going on today. This call came out, a 911 call for a gunman walking down Memorial Drive. State troopers from the Charles River Basin rushing to the scene here and then engaging with that shooter, shooting him and stopping the threat beyond what had happened. Now, again, our sources are telling us that the gunman and another person were shot here. Others were taken to the hospital, just shaken up by this harrowing ordeal. And what you're left with now is a situation that's gone from an active shooter scene to a crime scene that has ballistics teams here now literally going methodically through Memorial Drive, the area around here, and then beyond where any shots would have ended up, and processing this crime scene right now as they begin to piece everything together. We're being told that at some point, perhaps sometime around 6 o'clock tonight, we are expecting to hear from the Middlesex County District Attorney Marion Ryan and from the Colonel of the State Police, Jeff Noble. And again, at this hour, that the plans, they're trying to piece everything together to give the public the most information on exactly what happened here. But at some point, we're being told that there will be an update from authorities on exactly what unfolded here this afternoon. But at the moment, people are running by the Charles River. They're being sort of pushed away from the crime scene here, looking on just in disbelief that all this could have happened in the middle of the day.
So the rifle is still on the ground there. Evidence marker 25, Ryan,
Right.
that'll be a key piece to this investigation. And I know they'll look at, was it a legal weapon? Where did this person get it?
Was it fully automatic? Was it modified to be?
Right.
All these questions.
And then, just so everyone knows, we haven't gotten that suspect's name. When we do, and probably in that press conference we're expecting, but so we don't know anything about that person. Do they live here? Do they have a job? Or,
Was this a grudge against someone?
That's where you build motive,
right,
too.
exactly, right.
Yeah,
you know.
was it a grudge against someone? Was it just, them acting out and
Was it road rage?
random?
You know,
Exactly.
We had a lot of questions about and here you're looking at a lot of pictures of state police interviewing the postal driver right there. Her postal vehicle has a bullet hole in the front right there. You can see it. Terrifying that it hit that vehicle as she was driving. And our Alex Soprado was saying that she was able to make it to this side street here.
Right.
I mean,
And
brave to drive after that.
So brave.
Right?
I can't even imagine going through something like that. And then looks like she got it pretty safely off the road. It took authorities a minute to get over to the postal truck. And we've been following this now for how many hours?
Yeah, since 2 o'clock, right?
Yeah, since around 2. So, of course, the investigation starts like right there on the road, right, like what you're looking at right now from Sky 7 HD, from where the first incident started to happen. And then, the postal truck was over to the side. She was okay, so they eventually worked their way over there. Now it appears that they're interviewing the driver and her supervisors. Alex had told us, and there goes an evidence marker on that bullet hole. And Alex had told us, of course, he did ask if she wanted to speak, but I'm going through a lot right now, obviously, and USPS policies that they don't speak to. So actually, Alex is right there for us. And so, Alex, so you just saw the markers go around the bullet hole and the camera getting the pictures of the postal truck. What else are you seeing right there?
Right, Johnny, on. So you can see state police, 4 investigators at the front of this postal truck, and the driver's side is there on the right side of your screen, but the driver would be seated right there near where that bullet hole struck. If the bullet was down about 6 inches, this driver could have been struck. You can see a detective opening the door there. The seat is right there. State police did just put some markers around the bullet as they do some of their preliminary investigative work here. Again, this driver was driving in the area of Cambridge this afternoon near Memorial Drive when a bullet came through the front window. She was able, likely, to navigate through the streets and come here to Blackstone and River Streets and get help. And this is where we have ended up, with state police as well as Cambridge police surrounding this area. They have just begun their investigation. The driver is unable to talk to us. Obviously, she's talking with police and investigators, but her supervisor did say earlier that she's okay and that investigators and supervisors from the United States Postal Service are here on the scene. You can see detectives with their state police uniforms there going into the truck. They put those markers around the bullet hole where it struck, where that driver was seated when the bullet came through this afternoon. The driver we have seen walking around talking to detectives, obviously physically okay, but no doubt she is probably very shaken up after what happened this afternoon.
Sure is, and we're so happy she's okay. And they're really now examining that vehicle because they probably want to know if the bullet is still in there. Is it lodged somewhere in there?
Because they can use those casings to help in the investigation, right? They use that to trace them. There's more casings.
You can see them, right?
Yeah, I can see they're huge.
The green
37,
marker there, yeah.
39. So I'm keeping track of the numbers just because I'm curious how many evidence markers there are.
A lot of them.
They go up in numerical value. And so there's your crime scene. This is going to be a crime scene for quite some time. There's the postal truck, the close-up on the bullet hole. They really shattered the windshield. I'm just so happy she's okay.
Yeah.
That's one piece of good news about all of this. If her friends or family are watching, I'm sure they're breathing a huge sigh of relief. We have the command center there just arriving on scene, the State Police Command Center. Steve Cooper letting us know earlier, and something that we know about how this works in this part of the city is Memorial Drive is actually sort of the jurisdiction of state police on that roadway, the surrounding areas, and Cambridge Police. That's how agencies a lot of times work together. But they have these huge mobile command units that they bring into scenes like this, and I've done a lot of work with police out in the field too, and a lot of times they bring these in. They actually provide a great deal of help for them right there on the scene to start bringing in the evidence into their collection area, and gives them a lot more resources to work with right there, especially when they have a larger crime scene.
And I believe this is the bullet hole inside the postal vehicle. As we zoom in here to show this is the bullet hole inside
so
the
it went
postal vehicle. Yeah, through the windshield.
Through the windshield and then right over the
one.
seat.
Right.
Or it could have been a different one, you're right. But it looks like, Ryan, it went right over where her shoulder would be.
Terrifying.
That is, and they're right there inside, looking at where where the bullet's path actually went. And you can see her jacket on the seat.
If we could bring in our Steve Cooper a little bit about this investigation. Normally, Steve, we're not up close and personal with this investigation as we are with this. Our cameras happen to be gathering some of the great video here, walking us through exactly what they're seeing. They're taking measurements. They're putting markers up. Your thoughts on how close we are to what's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, that is what people are watching in real time right now, because all this unfolded in the middle of the day, just at around 1:30 this afternoon. Here we are a few hours later, and this is what you see at a crime scene. the incident happens. The people are taken to the hospital for treatment in this case, according to our sources. And then what follows is the scene itself, just to be clear, is sealed off. They set up a perimeter. They quickly fan out to speak with any witnesses that they can as quickly as possible and get any videos and security video, secure that as well. And then once all that happens and they're not looking for any other suspects, there's no more danger to the public, and we were able to report that pretty quickly after this shooting happened, then time is on the side of those investigators. So what begins to happen in an organization like the state police, you have crime scene services, you have ballistics experts who are able to go in and then to begin to map out and process the crime scene itself. Now, in this particular case, keep in mind, because the suspect that was shot is in custody in this particular case, there will be a trial. So what you're dealing with here is they have to collect all the evidence they can and put as much together at this scene before they break it all down and remove those shell casings or the vehicles that were involved, or in the case that you saw, that the windshield or any vehicles that were shot out. All of that stuff is all part of a criminal investigation and a criminal prosecution. So you have those investigators from the state police working with detectives from Cambridge Police and Boston Police as well, all sort of working in concert together, collecting all that information, processing and also memorializing the crime scene here in the possibility that this would go forward to some sort of a trial where all this information is critical to a prosecution of a case like this. And that's one of the reasons that what people are looking at, and as jarring as all this is to our viewers that are seeing these images of a rifle on the ground, a shooting that was captured by people on cell phone video, shots being exchanged, all of that. The reality is this isn't a TV show. This is something that really happens in the real world. And in this case, it happened in Cambridge at 1:30 on a Monday, quiet spring afternoon that saw shots ring out and people ducking for cover and running for their lives, literally.
Thank you for that update, Coop. All right, we're going to reset here for the top of the hour. And now at 5 o'clock, we are following this huge breaking news. A gunman opening fire in the middle of Memorial Drive in Cambridge. Police then taking down that man. We do want to warn you that you may find some of this video disturbing. Okay, you can hear those dozens of gunshots. The shooter eventually tossing the gun then to the ground and throwing his arms up in the air. Sky 7 getting a closer look at the weapon that he left behind there at the scene as police investigate that. This all happening in a very busy area right in the middle of the afternoon.
There is a huge police presence, and we know at least one person is hurt. We're also getting a look at cell phone video of that gunman walking down the middle of the street right here, pointing the gun and just shooting. We have Team 7 coverage from what witnesses saw and heard to the latest on the investigation. Let's start with our Steve Cooper. He's live in Cambridge with the very latest.
Ryan, a stunning turn of events here in Cambridge on a quiet Monday afternoon along the banks of the Charles River when shots ring out. An active shooting situation here just after 1:30. And take a look behind us here right now, because you can see this whole area is sealed off by state police who are now leading this investigation here this afternoon. Let's show that stunning video, the cell phone video of the gunman shooting at random, walking down Memorial Drive. And this is according to witnesses who we spoke to earlier today who watched all this in horror this afternoon. And you can hear the sounds of gunfire reverberating down Memorial Drive right by River Street. Just one shot after another after another. It wasn't long after that that police received 911 calls. Cambridge police assisting state police responding to the scene. But we're being told, according to sources, state police engaged with that gunman before he was shot in his lower extremities and then taken to the hospital, according to our sources. Shortly after all this happened, we found a rifle from Sky 7 HD lying on the side of the road along Memorial Drive, and that is now being processed by ballistics experts tonight. The whole area remains sealed off while detectives fanned out this afternoon and began interviewing witnesses, collecting digital information, cell phone video, security cameras that line Memorial Drive, processing everything that happened here. There is no danger to the public, but we want to play an extensive interview with one witness who called 911 after watching this afternoon in horror.
So I'm seeing him walking this way first, with the gun in his hand, right? While he's walking, he's like, he takes, because he first took 5 shots first. Then once he takes those 5 shots, then that's when he turns around. He goes the other way. Now he's trying to fix the gun, or like he jammed or something. He's trying to hit it. Once then he sees, he's right next to the car, next to that yellow truck thingy. It's like a van, next to a yellow van. While he's next to the yellow van, there's a black car next to him. He's hitting it with the gun. He's hitting it. He's yelling. He's yelling. I can't put the words together, but he's hitting it. He didn't shoot it. He didn't shoot it up. I didn't see him shoot it up. But then he starts walking that direction again. Now, there's another truck coming the same direction. He shuts up the truck at least once or twice. Once he does that, the truck just keeps going, then he keeps going. He's walking this way. He's walking, but he's walking like he don't give a He's walking comfortably.
Right, we're live on the air, so if you can...
What's going through your mind when you're seeing this happen? You're hearing those
This is like... I thought this was like a video game. I thought it was like, you know how in GTA you're bored of playing it so much, you just start shooting anything. Like you just start shooting, you start getting cars, you start, doing whatever. He felt free. Like he didn't go. Sorry, he didn't care.
And can you just describe? You just looked at your phone. What kind of weapon did he have? We had heard it was a rifle or something like that.
It looked like it was. I think it was a rifle. It looked like at least. It was big. It was big. It was long.
I mean, the way you talk about it, he was just out walking around. Had he been in a car? Or?
When I got to it, there was already 5 shots already gone by. When I stepped on my porch, my balcony. Sorry, when I stepped on the balcony, he's already trying to reload it or like fix it while he's walking this way, like while he's walking down the street.
So you don't know where he had come from or what he was doing?
No. People are saying that he stepped out of the car and then he stopped traffic at a certain point where it looked like he could have,
And do you know what happened to him? What happened to him?
Well, when he got to that, there's a street over there to take a left to keep going. Right next to that tree, he got into a gunfight between the cop. I was on the phone with the 911. Once he got in that gunfight, that's when he got dropped. I think he got hit in the leg first or around here because he dropped like this. Then he lays down, he threw the gun, and now he got his hands up.
And were you like ducking for cover or what were you doing?
I was on the 18th floor. I was good, man. I was good.
There.
Yeah, I was good. I was chilling.
Watching it all.
I was watching it all. I was chilling, man.
Did you see him get taken away?
I seen him. They once they drop him, he had his hands up. There was at least 2-3 cops running towards him, rushing.
Pretty remarkable sight here tonight as we get into the evening commute. You can see the DoubleTree Hotel across on the Store Drive side of the river, and then you can see all the police cruisers here on River Street heading into where Memorial Drive intersects with River Street. And now what you see is all the yellow police tape here live at the scene, and that crime scene remains sealed off. And you can see those detectives right now. What they're basically doing is they are looking for ballistic shell casings associated with the shootout here. They're also mapping the scene here for a potential prosecution of the suspect who was involved in this case. And you can see right now we are expected to hear from the district attorney at some point along with the state police colonel. But right now this whole area remains sealed off tonight. But just to be clear, there is no danger to the public at this point. Everyone involved in this incident has been well, accounted for at this point. Whether they're at the hospital, whether they're here being spoken to by detectives, and police are asking the public for anyone, because there were so many people that witnessed what happened here today. They're asking anyone that may have any additional cell phone video, and you've seen some of that dramatic video that's been shot by people who watched all this in real time. They're asking for anyone who may have any additional helpful information in connection with this shooting here to come forward. We're live in Cambridge tonight. Steve Cooper, 7 News.
And Coop, before you go, just the magnitude of that video, speak a little bit more about that. We got it from someone who was right there. We got it on TV as quickly as we could, and you watched it right here with us on Channel 7, where it is just really jarring video to watch this man walk around with this long gun and just open fire on people.
Yeah, Jody, and I think the randomness of this whole incident is really shaken people here that watched all this unfold in real time. We talked to so many witnesses who were just going about their day, and keep in mind that the weather hasn't been so great over the past several weeks around here, and we got to this Monday, the day after Mother's Day, and people were just out and about, jogging along the river, walking along the river, driving along the river here along Memorial Drive, just going about their day. And for something like this to happen in a split second, and then to quickly grab a camera, and for several minutes people were watching this suspect armed with this rifle just standing there, and then you saw, and they all saw, just one after another, this volley of shots being fired. And at the same time, just to be clear, and these troopers and local police trained for these active shooter incidents, and basically in this particular case they went to the shooter to stop the threat. And that's exactly what you saw on those videos. That's exactly what people here saw. And that's exactly what the district attorney now, who's leading this investigation, is piecing all this together, and will come forward shortly to tell us officially how all this happened, and more importantly, why all it happened, why that gunman ended up here, what he was doing here, and how this all came about. But it was pretty dramatic moments, and something that, even as we look at it, and we've been warning people, we don't see this in real time. Sometimes you see videos of these things after the fact, or we see surveillance video from still cameras. But to have people actually watching this from balconies, looking down and dodging bullets here along Memorial Drive, just watching all this unfold is pretty jarring to see for people. It's not something any of us see and hope we never see, but it happened here in real time today.
You're certainly right as we continue to watch that video. And Coop, a lot of people always want to know, of course, the why, the motive. We're awaiting this press conference from authorities in a short amount of time, but just help us understand. You've done a lot of these stories about the investigation and what is going into it at the moment, so that authorities can give us a why, but it might take some time.
Right, and just to be clear, time is on the side of investigators right now. That's why there's sort of an eerie calmness to what was such a chaotic scene that was playing out here on Memorial Drive just a few hours ago. But as you look at some of these images, it's pretty quiet here. The area is sealed off with that yellow police crime tape. You see troopers walking around here. But what's happening is they're mapping out this crime scene. And time is on the side of those investigators, whereas when they first got here, they didn't know in the beginning whether or not this shooter was a lone wolf, was acting alone, or whether this was something much larger, whether this was some sort of a terrorist act, whether there are other people involved. So in the beginning, that chaos, what you're talking about and what we were seeing play out here, in the beginning, those officers, and that's why you just saw this army of police arriving on the scene, just swarming into this area. I've seen a lot of police respond to shootings, but nothing to this magnitude. They were coming from all sides. They were coming from the Charles River Basin. And just a reminder, state police, because this might be a little confusing to people, because this is a DCR roadway, state police are the ones that handle this investigation here with the assistance of Cambridge Police and obviously Boston Police as well.
Coop, right there on the scene for us there in Cambridge. Thank you.
This gunfire happening in the middle of the day. Police shutting down several busy streets out there. Jonathan Hall is live across the river in Boston with the latest from there.
Yeah, we're on the Boston side, Ryan, and this was a scary, scary scene indeed on Memorial Drive in Cambridge, as there's an active shooter situation. State police opened fire to end the threat. right in the middle of the day, just about 1:20 p.m. Now, this is a heavy populated area, and witnesses shot video of the man standing on that busy roadway, which is patrolled by the state police, shooting at random vehicles, including a mail truck, perhaps a school van, which we saw stuck on Mem Drive, so we do not know if that vehicle was hit. The man fired dozens of shots, first 5 or 6 perhaps, according to a witness, then a lull as he apparently checked his gun, followed by more firing. Sky 7 has been hovering overhead, getting some wonderful shots, including the suspect's rifle laying on the ground. We saw an officer with a long white box heading toward the area where officers surrounded the gun. It'll apparently be used to retrieve the evidence. Witnesses also shot video of the troopers stopping the threat right there on top of the gunman. So many people around with their cell phones handy to record what was going on. State police confirmed troopers were involved in this incident at 1:20 p.m. So a terrifying scene for people trying to make their way down Memorial Drive in Cambridge shortly after the lunch hour on a Monday afternoon. Traffic in the Cambridge and Alston areas has been snarled, with Mem Drive closed between the area of MIT and River Street for hours and hours. This is an extended crime scene with crime scene tape, caution tape set up near the mobile station at Dunkin' Donuts at River and Mem Drive, and also a long way up the road, maybe a 2/10 of a mile, to the Courtyard by Marriott Hotel. And that's where we come back live right now, show you the scene. The police lights still blinking down there as investigators do all of their work. And meantime, life goes on. There are numerous joggers, walkers, and bikers. This is a popular spot to jog along the Charles River. Why not on a 60-degree day? Also, people out there in boats that are out here practicing for their crew teams. So life goes on. Everyone's really concerned about what happened. Very thankful they were not here at 1:20 in the afternoon when all of this played out. Just a terrifying scene here in the city of Boston and in Cambridge. Reporting live in Alston, Jonathan Hall, 7 News.
Right, Jonathan. And just to make that note, people you've talked to or just, knowing the city so well, it is such a populated and busy area for everyone. People on the river, people jogging or exercising around the river, or just stopping to get gas. Just talk a little bit more about the impact that this is going to have on our city for something like that to happen just right in the middle of a pretty Monday afternoon.
You know what? People are moving on with their lives, Jadian. They are out here biking, walking around. I mean, we'll just pan up here, Mark. We can see some of the people coming up the roadway right now. It is a busy time, and I think I hate to say it, but it almost seems like people get numb to it too. And here's another one of the crew teams coming through. Life continues. I think this will affect the city. I think certainly. People are going to be cautious in this world. We know it's a dangerous world in which we live in, and there are people out there who have mental health issues. We see it over and over again with mass shootings. We had the Marathon bombing as well, and life continued. I'm sure it will again.
Jonathan Hall reporting live for us tonight. Jonathan, thank you.
We do know a postal truck was damaged during this. There's a bullet hole in the windshield of that vehicle. Alex Soprado continues our coverage. He's live in Cambridge with this part of the story now.
Well, Ryan, it was a delivery route like none other that this driver has ever experienced. This is the vehicle that is in question. You can see the bullet hole in the front part of the vehicle here in the windshield. The driver was sitting there driving, doing her route this afternoon when all of a sudden that bullet came through the front left windshield. She was sitting there. That's where the steering wheel is. And it appears this bullet had a downward trajectory because there is a wall behind where the driver sits, and the bullet went through that wall about 6 inches lower. So this driver appeared to be very lucky. She didn't appear to be injured. We have some video of her that she was on the scene as state police and other investigators came here to Blackstone and River Streets. We're just a few blocks west of where the shooting happened. State police, Cambridge police, they've all been swarming this area. taking measurements and doing their initial crime scene investigation here at Blackstone and River Streets. We're just about a block from the Shell gas station, which is many people in this area remember was a focus of the Boston bombing, where some of the carjacking took place from. We spoke with a woman. She heard what she thinks is a gunshot, and she says this all brought back memories from years ago.
It sounded like a jackhammer, and I sort of thought, well, there's a lot of construction, and it was like right there. And then it ended with this huge, that sounded like a gunshot. It reminds me of the Boston bombing. Same thing. I mean, we would sit upstairs and they came into that gas station and they ran across the street to the other one.
And another live look here at Blackstone and River Streets of this UPS vehicle that took a bullet to the front windshield this afternoon. That bullet went through the back wall there. The driver didn't appear to be injured. She was talking to state police and Cambridge police who were here on the scene. They are now going to do a debrief with her, but she apparently, after the shooting, was able to navigate through the streets, come a few blocks west, and end up here where she was able to get to safety, obviously caught up in the middle of this gun battle this afternoon. Back to you.
Alex, you showed us great pictures of investigators there going over that postal vehicle with a fine-tooth comb. Talk about what you saw them doing and walk us through what you saw there.
Yeah, Ryan, I'll step in here, and you can see that they have put some pieces of tape on two sides of the bullet hole there. They obviously have started their initial markings there, and then inside there is another piece of two pieces of tape there where the bullet struck the wall behind the driver. So that is some of their first initial investigative techniques here. There are troopers that are here along with Cambridge police. They've surrounded this vehicle. Obviously, it's part of the evidence in this investigation. So they've kind of cordoned this off. The driver has been taken away for further questioning and debriefing. But no doubt, this USPS vehicle, a key center point of this investigation. The driver just doing her route this afternoon, delivering mail, when apparently she was caught up in the gun battle. And this vehicle is a key piece of investigative evidence in today's shooting and further response. Ryan?
Alex Soprano there live with this postal truck. Alex, thank you so much.
And the gunfire led to panic in this busy area. Let's get to 7's Kimberly Bookman. She's joining us live. She's there on the Cambridge side with more information tonight, just down from where we just saw the video when the shooter opened fire. Kimberly.
Jodianne, this part of Memorial Drive is where investigators are really collecting the bulk of evidence in this case. This is the area where it is believed that that shooter opened fire, hit several cars, and then also was approached by troopers and was shot himself. Now, I'm going to move out of the way, and you can see, I'm going to just have you look at the orange bag in the distance there, and that is where a rifle is on the ground. That rifle is believed to be the gun that was used by the shooter in this case. Now, if we pan over a little bit to the right, you will see several state troopers here in the middle of Memorial Drive, which is now closed down because of this investigation. And you will see two cars as well as a school bus van that have evidence markers on them. Those two cars, both with their hoods open, were hit by gunfire. And we actually have some cell phone video from one of the men who was in one of those cars. He tells me he's a union worker who works downtown in the Boston area. He lives in Rhode Island. That's why there are Rhode Island plates on his car. He says they were driving down Memorial Drive, just leaving work, heading home, and he said that's when gunfire erupted. He heard tons and tons of shots, and he said the gun bullets actually went flying, and one of them hit his radiator in his car. He said he and his friend who were in the car just jumped out to get to safety, but he did make eye contact with the gunman, and he just describes that whole situation as being absolutely frightening. We had an opportunity to speak to him, and I want you to listen to what he had to say.
So we got stuck in the traffic jam, heard a couple bangs. We do construction, so we're kind of used to that noise. We didn't think it was anything serious. Car started pulling out and came flying back up this way. My buddy opened his door, looked out to see what was going on, shut it. I got out of my car and walked up to his to see if he saw anything, and as soon as I looked up, I saw the shooter raise his gun towards us. And so I ran back to my car and jumped behind the dashboard. He got out of his and ran this way. His headlight got nailed, my radiator got nailed, this dude's windshield got nailed.
How scary was that? I mean, you're just driving along and you actually see a shooter pointed in your direction and it comes and hits the car you're in.
You never think it's gonna be you until it is.
And your buddy decides to open the door to see what's going on. What's the interaction with you guys and the shooter? I mean, does he say anything? Does he look at you?
No, he was maybe 50, 60 feet from us. But like I said something to my buddy, I can't even remember what I said, and then I looked up and that's when I saw him, and I ran for it, and my buddy just opened his door and he went running too.
And we did have an opportunity to talk to other people who were in the cars that were hit, and they all say they just jumped out of the cars and they went running. There is a hotel nearby here. It's the Marriott Courtyard. Several of them described running behind the buildings here for safety, not knowing exactly what was going on. Several of them say that they did actually see police arrive within seconds of when they heard the gunfire and approach that man as well. Very scary situation for these folks, many of them just leaving work, commuting back home, certainly not expecting to come across this. Jadian, Ryan.
Kimberly, what an incredible interview. That's the first time we're hearing from someone who was involved with this in the kind of the early stages, not really knowing what's going on, thinking maybe a traffic jam. And just talk a little bit more about what it was like to speak with that man who had this suspect raise his gun at him just on Memorial Drive this afternoon.
Yeah, Jadian, still very shaken. I said, I hope and I'm glad that you're okay. And he said, me too. I mean, I'm still trying to process everything that happened. I mean, it just was in a matter of seconds. You know, he's driving down the road and then he hears this and initially doesn't believe that it's gunfire. I mean, he just said he was in construction. He thought maybe it was some construction going on. And it wasn't until the shots actually hit his radiator that he realized just how dangerous a situation this was. As I said, still trying to just process what he saw. But the first initial reaction was just get out of the car and run to safety, and thankfully he did and was not hurt. But now he's still standing here. He's from Rhode Island. He's waiting to find out what's happening to his car and what the next steps are, because it's all behind the evidence tape for right now. Jadian.
Kimberly, thank you for great reporting today there live in Cambridge for us.
Want to go to our Victoria Price. She's live here in the newsroom with more information for us on this shooting.
So, Ryan, Jadian, we've been showing these cell phone videos that are coming into our newsroom, showing both the shooting itself as well as the aftermath of this incident in Cambridge earlier this afternoon. Most notably is that video from a cell phone from a nearby building where you can see and hear these suspected gunmen shoot multiple times and engage in this firefight with law enforcement. Take a look and listen.